My name is Darryl Kwao. First up, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, has still not received payment for the $50 million loan advanced to the Finance Ministry in 2014 for the construction of the Western Corridor roads in the Atobo Gas Processing Plant enclave. The money was expected to have been repaid in 3 months after disbursement. This was disclosed in the 2021 semi-annual report of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee. Here's more.
The issue has been a concern to the Public Interest and Accountability Committee since the deadline for repayment has elapsed without any intervention from the Ministry of Finance to settle the debt. In PIAC's engagement with Parliament over the last 2 years, the legislature directed that the Ministry of Finance and the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation should meet to resolve the outstanding issue. According to the GNPC, the Minister for Energy requested an intervention from the Minister of Finance to assist in the settlement of monies owed GNPC by government and other energy sector agencies. This was contained in a letter to the Ministry of Finance in February 2021. However, according to the ministry, it is yet to receive the said letter as claimed by the Ministry of Energy to inform the appropriate action on the fund. Prior to this, the Ministry of Finance in 2018 directed GNPC to expunge the amount from its books on the grounds that per the Earmarked Funds Capping and Realignment Act 2017, Act 947, the Minister for Finance is empowered to cap all earmarked funds at 25% of tax revenue. Meanwhile, PIAC's semi-annual report has also revealed that the country's total petroleum agreement as at the time of preparing the report stands at 18.
And we'll have more from PIAC's semi-annual report in the coming days. Now, the Bank of Ghana has given assurance it is in a strong position to stabilize the Ghana cedi. It is therefore advising businesses not to panic. The local currency has come under some sustained pressure over the past 2 months, declining in value by almost 2% to the dollar. But the central bank says its reserves have hit record levels of $11.4 billion as of the end of August. Stephen Opata is head of financial markets at the Bank of Ghana.
I have to confirm things have turned out better than we expected, but let us not rush ahead of the curve in saying that all is over yet. I think that there is a second wave, just like COVID, there's a second wave of the impact that we are.
As the governor said, we've seen an increase in imports a little bit, and as the economy recovers, you expect that. But we've also mentioned that we are in very good grounds. We have adequate reserves. 5.2 months of reserves is a lot. This, I believe, one of the highest I've seen. And therefore, we have the buffers, and as you've seen, we are increasing our supply to the market. In the past 2 auctions, the last auction we did 50 million. Previously, our target was 25 million. And the 2 sessions before that, we did 75 million each. You can see that that's stabilized things, and we are anchoring the banks and their clients' expectations that we have adequate reserves to meet the increased imports we are seeing.
If this demand or requests are backed by real demand, you see that the gap from what you are supplying, i.e. to what the demand, is still very, very wide. Do you think that going forward, you find a way to meet halfway the request if these are backed by real demand from banks and businesses?
So what's happening is that as we are meeting these demands by the auctions, we are anchoring their expectations. So they are using the auctions to meet their flows. So it means that we are doing, for example, less of bilateral sales, direct sales to the market. So we have said that we're not going to use all our FS reserves to the auctions. There are other needs for the country. But what is important is that it's increasing the liquidity in the markets. If you talk to even bank clients, they are really using this channel, and I think it's good.
Stephen Opata there, head of financial markets, on the cedi stability. Now, Managing Director of EcoBank, Daniel Saki, has indicated that the full recovery of the banking sector may hinge on improved loan repayment and business pickup. The banking sector is still struggling in some areas despite strong growth in profit. This can be linked to the effects of the second wave of COVID-19 on the sector. But Mr. Saki tells Joy Business the outlook seems favorable.
I have to confirm things have turned out better than we expected, but let us not rush ahead of the curve in saying that all is over yet. I think that there is a second wave, just like COVID, there's a second wave of the impact that we are yet to see. You realize that during the period we gave moratorium on loans to clients both in the informal and formal sector. We gave to individuals, corporates. Now that the moratorium period is over, people are now retooling their business, they are restarting, and we will be able to determine the actual impact once we've seen the restart of loan repayment. So yes, it's better than expected, but there's still some way to go. But we are very confident with the measures that have been put in place. The other issue also that gives us greater confidence is the onset of vaccination. You recall that a couple of weeks or months ago there was no vaccine, but at least today we can confirm that there is some level of vaccination ongoing. And the more people get vaccinated, the more we can move closer to that herd immunity that we are all looking for. And that can then assure us of a restart of some sort of normalcy or a return to normalcy, which will then be able to support that the recovery is really permanent and not a temporary one.
You talked about normalcy. Some will say that you think the time is right now to review those moratoriums, even together with those regulatory reliefs, because some are saying that, listen, the economy, the numbers have shown the economy is picking up. In other economies as well, they've started reviewing some of these things. US has even signaled that the tapering would actually be reviewed in November. Do you think that in Ghana, we are ready, the time is ready for us to review some of these moratoriums, or we still hold on for a while?
I think that's an area that the central bank is watching closely. We have continued our engagement with them, and as I said earlier on, there are still the secondary impact which we've not yet seen, and that is whether those who have benefited from that moratorium will be able to fully restart loan repayments and continue for the tenure of the loan. Because if you have a 5-year loan and repayment has just started, you will never be able to determine if that recovery is permanent.
Now, proposals to increase the current retirement age of 60 years and SNIT contributions from the current 18% may soon get the required regulatory attention. This is because the National Pensions Regulatory Authority is awaiting the reconstitution of its board to look into these matters. The proposals have been influenced by concerns over the sustainability of pension schemes going forward. However, any final action will be dependent on agreement between government and its social partners. And as Amate Vondi is Director of Planning, Research and Monitoring at the authority.
From the regulator's viewpoint, we think that the issue of education and sensitization is critical. For that reason, we've gone around almost all the regions in the country trying to educate people in the informal sector about pensions, its relevance, its usefulness, and so on, so that people will take advantage of the kind of products that are available so they don't keep working till they drop dead. We've done that. What are some of the challenges aside education? You do not expect the very ordinary tomato seller or plantain roaster to leave his or her wares and go to the bank and make payments of his contribution into the pension account. Our hope is that with the advent of mobile money and the way a good number of the companies are getting digitized in terms of their operations, it becomes easier for contribution mobilization on the part of people working in the informal sector to be able to make contributions. We all know too well, some make daily profits, weekly profits, and so on. So they will be in a much better position to make contribution, not as those of us who work in the formal sector who contribute on a monthly basis. So my hope is that technology is a factor, education is a factor, transparency in the process is also a factor. With digitization, it is easier, and indeed with your mobile money, to check your balance at any time. If you make a payment today, the next second you can check and convince yourself that it's been deposited into your pension account and so on.
The new board of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, has indicated its commitment to ensuring that the country's seaports remain efficient. Board Chair Isaac Osei says the ports play a significant role in the country's economy as well as the sub-region. He assured that GPHA will continue to provide the needed environment and facilitate trade. Isaac Osei disclosed this after a familiarization tour of the Tema port by the board. There is more in this report.
The familiarization tour and subsequent orientation form part of the plans to update members of the board of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority's operations and activities. Board Chair Isaac Osei sees the need to address equipment challenges at the ports. The board will also visit Takoradi Port and later Keta Port project sites as part of the orientation. According to Isaac Osei, This will give members a deeper understanding of the current position of the authority and its strategic direction.
At the end of the day, GPHA is placed in a position where it has to facilitate international trade between Ghana and other countries. What is becoming increasingly clear to us is that there are a lot of other countries who also use the services of this port, and that must have implications for revenue generation. It also, I think, will help position Ghana as a gateway, not just to the sub-region, but also as a transit point for other countries, both in the south and north of Tema.
Meanwhile, Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Michael Lugoje, says the authority is making a deliberate attempt to improve its capacity.
Well, I think the business itself is growing. Container traffic is growing, and we are glad about that. It shows that there's a lot of confidence in Ghana's economy. We're just interacting with MPS. You notice the traffic is not just growing for Ghanaian-bound cargo, but also transshipment to other countries and also transit to the landlord country, which means that there's a lot of trust in our corridor and our country. And we're excited about that as a port authority. So we are only reviewing our plans to be able to ensure that we improve on our equipment capacity, we improve on our human resource capability, improve on all other arrangements, not just GPHA, but also all our stakeholders, customs, ICOMs, all the other parties that are needed to help us.
The board is expected to provide ideas which will help propel GPHA to a new height.
The tourism sector will benefit from a 120 million Ghana cedi funding from Inside Foundation, a Spanish company promoting entrepreneurship. The money, which will come in the form of a loan, will promote entrepreneurship within the tourism ecosystem. To this end, an MOU has been signed between the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture and Inside Foundation. According to the Tourism Minister, Dr. Ibrahim Mohamed Awal, this investment will go a long way to support the tourism ecosystem and enable the country achieve its target of $5 billion annually from the sector.
Tourism, culture and creative arts sectors are among the most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The abrupt drop in revenues made industry players financially unstable. To support the value chain, the sector ministry signed a memorandum of understanding with Inside Foundation, a Spanish company promoting entrepreneurship. 120 million cedis will be allocated to 120,000 people along the value chain. The agreement is aimed at improving entrepreneurial skills and supporting SMEs in the tourism sector. Here's Sector Minister Dr. Ibrahim Mohamed Awal.
1 in every 4 jobs in Ghana is created from the tourism sector. We want to show that 2 from every jobs in Ghana is created by the tourism sector. That is our challenge. We want to create 1 million jobs by 2024 from the tourism sector and to have $5 billion from next year as receipts from international tourism. That is our target. To do that, we need to build the capacity of the operators within the sector. That is why we have our friends from the Spanish Embassy and South Africa, Inside Foundation, to support us to do that. So this agreement is going to help us build the capacity of 120,000 people in the tourism value chain in Ghana.
International Affairs Manager at Inside Foundation, Mar Casanova Lawrence, says Ghana is among countries her outfit looks to invest in to help promote entrepreneurship and tourism across the globe. She went on to highlight details of the agreement.
We are going to develop 2 more training courses here in Accra in both areas. First, in training for trainers, because we think it's very important, training for trainers, because it's a way that you can, retain all the skills and all the knowledge so that this training can be done all in the future. And it's very important, the training for people who can remain here and keep on training. And also we are going to work on training for entrepreneurs, focus on the tourism sector.
Spanish ambassador to Ghana, Javier Gutierrez, stated that this MOU is a step to reinforcing Spain's partnership with Ghana.
When I had the honor of presenting my letters of credence to His Excellency President Akufo-Addo, I told him that we wanted to reinforce our partnership and extend it into new areas of collaboration, for instance, tourism. Now we see that we are honoring our words and we're putting into action our commitment to reinforce our cooperation with Ghana, in this case in the field of tourism.
And you're watching The Marketplace. My name is Daryl Kwao. We are taking a short break. We have some more stories coming up. Do stay tuned. And welcome back to The Marketplace. Let's begin this next half with issues concerning quality service. Now, Regional Director of CAS International, Apia Kusi-Adumako, has called for more efforts to be channeled towards improving service delivery in the public sector. There is widespread dissatisfaction with quality of services provided, especially by government institutions, which has a negative impact on the economy. As Customer Service Week is highlighted, Mr. Kusi-Adumako says the public sector institutions should consider breaking the cycle of poor service delivery.
I mean, public sector service delivery is very, very poor in Ghana. When you go to the ministries or agency to do something, it is as if you are going to beg them. You write a letter, you send a letter to an agency, you will never get a response. You follow up, you cannot even trace your letter or your file. And I think that is very, very bad. With all the resources that the state has, I think that the government machinery should be able to do better than what it's doing. And surprisingly, when you go to Ghana missions abroad, the same behavior that the public sector behave is what you find at the Ghana missions abroad. Just pretend that you are calling the Ghana mission, any Ghana mission, and leave a voicemail, whether a voice message, whether anybody would return your call. It is very, very on the side of government. And always we know that about 2/3 of the internally generated taxes here are used to pay public sector workers. And the service that they deliver, they deliver service all right, but their relationship with customers, their relationship with consumers, in terms of responding to emails, correspondence, and other phone calls, is very, very bad. And I think this year, that we should rather focus on the public sector delivery. Of course, the private sector, there's a lot of competition in the private sector. So you see the private sector, you see one firm doing better than the other because that firm is afraid that if it doesn't step up well, the competition might, service quality or how they even interface with their customers might cause them to lose a business. So we see that. But because when it comes to the government or the state institutions, they have what we call the natural monopoly of things that they do. And so you don't have any alternative to government service delivery. And so whether you like it or not, you still have to wait at the mercies of the state agencies to get back to you.
So the thoughts of Apia Kusi-Adumako as we mark Customer Service Week. So getting customer service right, that will be the focus of our weekly online engagement on Joy Business Social. We have lined up Executive Director of Customer Service Africa, Priscilla Wellington Asante, President of Customer Experience Professionals Association, Esther Dukwa Ofosuhene, and CEO of 1115 Restaurant, Harrison Mati. They'll be joining me for a conversation which will be streamed across our social media platforms tonight at 6. Do make a date. In other news, Thoughts for Food, TFF, a non-profit organization, has challenged the next generation of food entrepreneurs to tap into immense benefit of technology. TFF gives opportunity for entrepreneurs to learn about digital skills to be able to grow their network and help them scale up their businesses. in over 175 countries and headquartered in Switzerland, TFF believes technology is a critical component in ensuring sustainable food production. Thoughtful Food Ambassador Pearl Kitchell was speaking to Joy Business in Accra as part of the TFF Global Summit. There's more in this report.
Each year, Thought for Food organizes TFF Challenge where finalists get to pitch their ideas and get funding. This year, TFF partnered with Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN for the summit in Italy, where startups pitched their ideas. Here in Ghana, TFF collaborated with Tech Hub iSpace to bring together entrepreneurs in food and agribusiness to watch the event live and share ideas. Ambassador for Thought for Food, Pearl Kitchell, shares how Ghanaian startups got funding from TFF.
We've had Ghanaians in the past benefit. We had one called Sweet Pot. Sweet Pot yogurt makes yogurt from sweet potatoes, and the aim is that children will get vitamin A from eating potatoes. So it's giving them the sweetness they want from yogurt, and they're also getting vitamins out of it. So Sweet Pot made it to the final stage and even won financial funding from TFF.
Lead developer at iSpace Foundation, Brian Ajay Trema, says technology has so much to offer in food and agribusiness.
We saw the use of IoT smart devices, soil testing devices for agri-tech businesses. So it was one of the key takeaways for me, and it was the consistency. Another key takeaway for me was consistency, seeing startups use technologies consistently to drive innovation.
With an MPhil in Food Science and Technology, graduates from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology is producing pancake mix. Enoch Aite is the director of Next Gen FPS.
We are using technology to produce pancake mix, which is convenient and easy to prepare for all Ghanaians. This contains egg and all other ingredients needed for preparing pancake. All consumers need to prepare this pancake is only water. You mix and fry. Challenge has to do with getting the needed regulatory requirements to be able to survive on the market, and then access to capital.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of Bibini Foods, Akosua Dey, shares how the use of technology is impacting orders and deliveries.
We do this lunch service delivery whereby customers will call you, you take details of the customers and you deliver to the person. Sometimes these dispatch riders, by the time the food gets there, the food is messy and all that. But now there is something we call Glovo and Bolt Food, which we are on it. So now it's very convenient for our customers, and sometimes the cost of delivery is very affordable to them.
For participants, the event was an eye-opening one.
Well, speak of food, GB Foods Ghana, manufacturer of Gino and Pomo products, says it will continue to position its brand as a market leader in the hearts and minds of the Ghanaian consumer. According to Managing Director David Aflu, his outfit will exhibit commitment to excellence and celebrate Ghanaian success stories. He was speaking at a ceremony to unveil his two brand ambassadors, that is Jackie Appiah and Ajiti Anand. Here's more.
The unveiling of the two as brand ambassadors for GB Foods is in consonance with the brand's vision of associating with personalities that exude its persona and character. Here is Managing Director of GB Foods Ghana, David Aflu.
In our search, we've made the best choice, picking actors, celebrities who Ghanaians love, respect, and adore for the various things you do on set and off set, to build this engagement of our consumers to the next level. We are happy we see that you have very serious commitment to excellence, commitment to quality, and you really and genuinely care for your communities, your followers, as we do for our consumers and the general communities in which we live. We mentioned to you there are two of you, Jackie Appiah and Ajiti Anand, popularly known as Pusha. And we believe both of you would be brand ambassadors who would help to really drive our brands to the next level in our consumer journey. So,
Brand Ambassador Jackie Appiah said the partnership is about mutual growth, benefits, and a much-needed value to the Ghanaian consumer.
I pray for nothing but the best, and I pray that this relationship goes a long way. And I'm happy that something that I've been using for so long, I am finally part of the family. So Gino has been part of me for many years. Yes, so, and I'm happy to be part.
As you rightly said, Gino, the range of products of Gino Promo are household names, and we hope to build upon what has already been built and make it even better and more accessible to every individual on this continent, if not Ghana. And so I'm excited, and we look forward to a great relationship that will bear so much fruit.
Several organizations have adopted this brand positioning strategy to ensure they are in line with changing trends on the market.
And that's the Marketplace. My name is Darryl Kwab. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.